Oh, we hit that magical 12 o'clock while I was rambling on. So welcome everybody. Today we're going to start off with a little bit of a warm up, just a tiny one. And then we are going to dive into an upper body movement break with a little focus on breath and breathing. So, oh, I'm going to spotlight myself. Sorry for that hiccup there. Okay, now this will go better. So starting off warming up, we're just gonna do some big arm movements, open and close. My spine is long and tall, so sort of lifting up out of my pelvis, almost like somebody has one of my hairs and they're pulling me up a little taller. My shoulders are hopefully pretty even here, even with each other, so, parallel with the floor underneath me. They're also as far away from my ears as they can be. So my shoulders are dropped rather than being up here. As you can see, that might be a bit of a challenge to do this comfortably. So down here is where my shoulders are. I have my feet a comfortable width apart. Nice. Alrighty. Do some shoulder rolls. Just the biggest circles you can draw with your shoulders around that glorious rib cage of yours. And we say glorious because we like being able to breathe. We like the things that our rib cage does for us, protecting our organs, all kinds of good stuff. Beautiful. And then just because neck, jaw, right down into your chest is also involved, we're going to turn our head side to side a bit. And right ear to right shoulder, and roll your head forward and over so your left ear is over your left shoulder. Back and forth at your own pace. Not super long holds in any one direction, not going into your max position. This is just a little facilitated wiggle break happening right now. Beautiful. So now, if you're feeling nice and juicy and you know where your body parts are, you know how they're feeling, we are going to dive into a little bit of lateral bending through the spine. I'm going to just get a little closer here. So as I'm lateral bending through my spine, that means this kind of thing. But what I don't want to do is collapse. I want to be lateral bending up and over something. If I'm bending, it's going to feel different. So go ahead and just practice with me. Collapsed. Now try to breathe. Oh. And then up and over an imaginary gigantic truck, yoga ball, dragon, whatever you like here. It's a smaller movement. It's less obvious than the collapse, and it might feel smaller to you. Sometimes it also helps to engage one of the arms so you can sort of feel like you're doing something. And now in this position, try to take a deep breath. One thing to note here as well, and you can come in and out of it as your own pace. I don't want anybody hanging out for eternity and hating me. But one thing that you may notice is when you collapse, there's a tendency to come forward a lot of times too, or collapse into your lower back as well. We don't want that because it limits our capacity. And so while this is a smaller movement than that, we like moving in the right direction to be able to breathe. Also, just looking at me from the side view, this is collapsed. This is not collapsed. So you can see I stay between two panes of glass a little bit better. All right, I've rambled on a lot. So let's go ahead and do the other side, both collapsing. Just experiment with how wide you can open your ribs with your deep breath there. And then thinking about the big, I'm reaching over something with my spine. So big lateral bend. Have the arm or not have the arm here. World's your oyster. And experimenting with breathing. Now, if you want to go back and forth between here and here, just playing with it, this is your body, so do what feels good. But also, if something hurts, that's no fly zone. So come on out of it if anything feels detrimental to you. Of course, we're doing this to stay healthier, not get worse. And whenever you are done with this bending experiment, we're going to do something very similar with arching and rounding. So just from the side, I'm going to arch my back just as much as I possibly can. And I'm not particularly great at arching, so you might have to use your imagination. And from here, in my maximum arch, I'm going to take the biggest inhale I possibly can, just not very big. You probably couldn't see it just now. And then staying here, I'm going to take my maximum exhale. Now, if that position isn't great for you, you want to put your hands on something, bring your hands down to your knees, hands and knees on the floor, whatever works for you. But any arched through your back position will be great for this. And just notice. Now, the opposite of arching your back really strongly would be to take the most gigantic slouch that you possibly can. I'm rolling my shoulders inwards. I could tuck my chin, round through my lower back as well. And take my biggest, deepest breath here as well. I forgot to tuck my chin for a second. Now for me, that one was actually a little bit better than my maximum arch, because arching is so hard for me. But now I'm going to find a position in between where I truly feel like I can breathe deeply and breathe well. And you may want to experiment coming a little bit more rounded, a little bit more arched than you find yourself normally standing, sitting, walking around during the day. We do a little experiment to learn. So what feels like it might not be perfectly natural might not be related to what works for your lungs, your body. It might be related to your habits. So take a little bit of an experiment and just notice, where can you get your best breath? This is me doing just a little extra arching compared to what I normally do. In fact, it probably looks like standing up straight, but to me it feels like an arch. And I'm going to just do a little micro rounding, see how that feels to breathe. Almost forces me to stand up as I try to take a deep breath. So I know that's not the one for me. And one last deep breath wherever you settle. Just because now that you've found it, you might as well enjoy it. Lovely. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see how it feels to breathe twisted. So I'm just going to start off twisting to the right, and I am only twisting as much as I can with my own muscles. I'm trying to stay up nice and long and tall. So you'll notice I'm not twisting like this. Nice, long, tall spine here. Wherever I felt good, um, comparing the arching and the rounding and the shoulders going side to side, that's where I want to start for the twist. So inhaling myself over to the right. And I'm not using hands on hips to help myself into the stretch more. I'm just hanging out in whatever level of twist my own muscles can provide me. And now I'm going to take a breath here, the biggest breath that I can, whatever that means. It's not very large because I have this extra constraint of twisting for myself. Yours might be visible. I don't think mine was. Then what we're going to do just momentarily is we're going to switch sides and we're going to notice if it feels different side to side. So come on out of it, take a breath centered if you feel like that would be good for you. Sometimes settling back in the middle position is good before we go over to the other side. And now long, tall spine, I'm twisting to the left, just seeing what my own muscles can provide me with. And when you settle in here, then take your big deep breath and just take a moment to notice how this feels different from the other side. If you needed to, just to do rapid fire experiments, you could twist to the right, deep breath, twist to the left, deep breath. Notice, how does it feel different on the different sides? Humans are not totally symmetrical, right? We got a liver off to one side, we've got a heart over here. You know, you don't have two hearts, as sad as that is. So if you have side to side differences, oh, also you might be right-handed or left-handed, it's pretty to be expected. Now, I'm not saying that if you twist to the left and it feels better to breathe in that position, then you should sit at your desk a little twisted to the left. That might not be a good thing, but it is helpful to notice where your imbalances are, where things are goofy, just for your own data and information. Beautiful. I noticed that I have an easier time breathing twisted to the left. Part of that is because I have scoliosis and I've been working on that side. Um, Good news, good feedback for me. So whenever you are done with the twisting through the two sides, just gonna take a moment to stay centered, do a little shoulder roll, do a little wiggle break, get to the point where you feel like yourself again. And we're gonna borrow eagle arms from yoga. This is just going to be a stretch that we do, partially because when your traps are super tight and your shoulders, it can cause or contribute to some restriction with your breathing. So I'm just going to bring my two arms out to the side, cross my right arm over my left, and either put hands on shoulders or pretzel up my arms. And then I'm going to bring my elbows a little bit higher, shoulders just a little bit lower, and push my ears back in space. Now, hopefully we have a really nice stretch through from your shoulders up through your neck, hopefully targeting your traps. And take a really nice deep breath in here. Lovely. You can reset, see if you can settle into that position just a little bit more. And enjoy one more breath there. Again, long, tall spine. That never goes away for the most part. And then you'll unpretzel, do a little shakeout if you need to, and we'll put the left arm on top, pretzel up or hold on to shoulders. I'll just demonstrate holding onto shoulders this time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my elbows up in space a bit, shoulders down, ears push back. And I'm going to enjoy breathing here. Taking that really nice deep breath, seeing if I can settle into the position just a little bit further. Elbows up, shoulders down, ears push back in space just a little bit more. And whenever you're ready, do a little bit of a shakeout. Now, one last thing that we're gonna do, just because forward head posture can also affect your ability to breathe and truly open your lungs is we're gonna reach our chin up towards the ceiling. So not collapsing the back of your head onto your neck, but reaching your chin up towards the ceiling. If it feels good, you can open and close your mouth a few times. It looks very silly. I will do it on camera. And if you'd like, you can also tip your chin a little bit to one side, a little bit to the other as you're reaching your chin up towards the ceiling. Whenever you're ready, bring your head down, do a nice little neck roll for yourself as a lovely counter stretch. And I hope you feel wonderful now. If you have one last thing that you want to do for yourself, you absolutely can. It's always nice to tailor these things to your own body and your own needs. And that's it. That's our 15 minutes. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.